So you want to solo flawless under Doctrine? Here's a little guide on how to do so. And just before we get into it, I mainly did this on Titan, so I'm going to be describing it from a Titan's point of view, but I'll try to keep it very basic for all 3 classes. First encounter is actually very simple. If you know the lore, it's a little bit easier. You just have to make a true statement on the wall. They provide you with symbols on the first and second round. The third one, you should still look for that bird no matter what, and then you're good to go. The main thing you want to pay attention to here are your subjugators. They are the heavy hitters. Husks are very annoying too. Make sure you deal with them. They can wipe out your health if you clear out a group and don't shoot the little worms that come after them. The subjugators, you're going to want to make sure you CC them some kind of way, either shackle grenade, freeze them, blind them, however, or just one-shot them if you have the ability to do so. Parent grind groups can do that. Now, as a Titan, I ran Knockout Consecration here with the Immo Slide and Synthoceps on my class item, but you can also run Paragrind Greaves here. Just make sure that your melee is one of the bash types, like Shoulder Charge, Shield Bash, or the Hammer one. Now, the second encounter is 100% going to be your hardest encounter here. The number one thing you have to pay attention to is not getting Hive on any of the dials. While they're very manageable on Titan to deal with, the Ogres, you still want to avoid them. They can very much be two-shotted, but it takes a lot of resources. Meanwhile, if you land bees, you just shoot some bees, or if you land, brain, then you just take out a group of guys very quickly with one slam, and it's very easy to do. Now, for the setup here, I ran Mountaintop Anarchy for damage, and I ran around as a, the same build as last time, but I swapped the Super to Thunder Crash, and I had a Cuirass swap for when damage began. Now, Storm's Keep Titan, Pure Arc Titan is a very good option here as well. You can run around with something like Insurmountable Skull Fort, basically punching everybody, resetting your stuff, and getting health, and then just before damage, you swap the Cuirass, and you go crazy doing damage with the Anarchy Mountaintop setup, like I said before. Now, for DPS spots, I recommend this spot here if you're going to be on Pure Arc Titan, and make sure you have Defibrillating Die so you can get more healing, and I recommend this spot here if you're on Prismatic Titan. It's a little more safer, and if ads spawn right behind you, you can just punch them, they'll get you health. And once you're done with that, congratulations, because the hardest part is out of the way, and the easiest part is now coming. The final boss is extremely easy. I ran Pure Arc Titan here with Insurmountable Skull Fort, just like I said before, by the way. Insurmountable Skull Fort, big Thunderclap punch, and swap to Cuirass for damage. I also use Thunderlord here for damage. As always, false statements off, true statements on. There are subjugators mini boss levels, so they can be CC'd on left and right side room, and blistering knights at the top and bottom. I like to initiate by doing some type of CC and then going in there and smoking them some type of way. I usually ran a fusion. And once it's time for damage, I activate, I run to this spot here, I wait for the burn to go off, I Thunder Crash, I run back to my spot, and I use Thunderlord because it's very easy. The boss likes to move a lot, and in that potential move, you can lose a lot of DPS, so it's better to just use something that can easily keep it consistent. And here's my artifact setup for the dungeon. This is basically what I had the entire time, and kudos to you. I hope you get your solo flawless.